They rarely look dangerous. They won't raise their voice or start a fight. They'll smile, listen, and make you feel safe at first. But slowly, they start to live inside your head. You catch yourself thinking about their moods before your own, walking on eggshells just to pacify them. And by the time you notice, they've already rewritten your sense of peace. That's the thing about dangerous people. So consider this less a judgment and more a warning. I'll introduce you to the 6 types of people Jung believed could dismantle your spirit if you're not paying attention. Carl Jung warned that the darkness we fear most isn't out there. It's woven into ordinary people. And sometimes the ones who seem safest carry the most silent poison. Starting with number 1, the projector. With them, it's never a discussion, it's a trial. Every disagreement turns into an indictment, and somehow, you're always the culprit. Jung called this projection when someone rejects their own shadow and hurls it onto someone else. They can't face their flaws, so they make them yours. You'll notice it in subtle ways. A coworker who gossips, then calls others two-faced. A friend who lies, yet insists you're the one hiding something. It's confusing because projection isn't driven by truth, it's driven by fear. They skip the debate and go straight to blame. Blaming you protects their ego from collapse. And before you know it, you're defending yourself against ghosts that were never yours to fight. If Jung were here, he'd remind you, stop trying to convince them. They don't want honesty, they want excuses. Your job isn't to hold their mirror, it's to keep your own clear. Although some people protect their ego by projecting it onto you, others protect their emptiness by feeding on yours. Number 2, the emotional parasite. They feed on energy, not food. You'll know them by the weight you feel after every interaction, drained, heavy, somehow responsible for a pain that isn't yours. It's as if your soul ran a marathon it never signed up for. They show up in crisis, panic, or tears, and because you're kind, you listen, you soothe. You show up again and again, thinking this time it'll help. But it never does. Their peace lasts only as long as your presence. Soon, your empathy becomes a full-time job, managing their moods, calming their storms, making excuses for their chaos. You start mistaking exhaustion for connection and guilt for love. Jung might have said these people are overtaken by their own unconscious, trapped in emotion too large to hold alone. So they project it outward, pulling others into their internal storm. Their emotions overwhelm them, spilling outward and pulling others into the storm they cannot contain. Still, it leaves marks. Because when empathy turns into rescue, you lose the boundary between your heart and theirs. And if you're the one offering support, remember, not every cry for help can be answered immediately, and not every listener is ready to carry someone else's storm. Before diving into someone's pain, check if your headspace can hold it, or if you need a moment to breathe first. Compassion is powerful, but even it needs oxygen to survive. So pay attention to the weight that lingers after kindness. You can be compassionate without being consumed. Care shouldn't cost you your calm. After feeling drained by those who pull energy from you, some people take a subtler approach. They guide your choices without ever raising their voice. Number 3, the passive controller. Control doesn't always wear a mask of aggression. Some people wield it gently, almost invisibly, shaping your actions without ever saying a word. The passive controller does this through care, worry, and subtle hints that make you doubt yourself. You'll notice it in statements like, "I just worry when you go out," or, "I know you think you can handle it, but are you sure?" It's not direct orders, but the result is the same. Your life starts revolving around their comfort. Guilt replaces guidance, and their approval becomes a silent ruler of your decisions. Jung observed that love that truly empowers never coerces. Where love is authentic, freedom thrives. Where control hides as care, freedom suffocates. Over time, you may find yourself shrinking, curating your words and actions to avoid imagined disappointment. Their influence echoes in your head long after the conversation ends. Reclaiming yourself starts with recognizing that subtle manipulation. You don't need to justify what feels right. Saying no doesn't break loyalty, it rebuilds your boundaries. True repair begins when you stop negotiating your peace for someone else's sense of security. Once you recognize the ways control can twist love into obligation, you start noticing those who don't just seek connection, they're drawn to darkness itself. Number 4. The shadow chaser. Some people stare into the dark to understand it. Others linger because they've fallen in love with it. The shadow chaser glorifies suffering. Pain isn't just a part of life, it becomes their identity, a badge of depth or authenticity. They romanticize chaos, wear their wounds like armor, and call destruction passion. You'll see it in the way they fixate on heartbreak, drama, or self-sabotage. They might say, "I'm too broken to be loved," yet secretly hope you'll try anyway. They thrive in the tension between despair and adoration, pulling others into their cycles without asking for real help. If you're a natural healer, you might believe your light can save them. You step in, thinking your presence can mend what they glorify. But Jung warned that prolonged exposure to someone addicted to their shadow can erode your own sense of self. The darkness can mirror back parts of you you weren't ready to face. You can walk alongside someone willing to heal, but when the shadow is worshipped, your energy becomes the fuel for their addiction. Their chaos becomes an invitation, a gravity, pulling you into patterns you didn't choose. You're not a rehabilitation center. You can't carry someone else's pain alone. Your energy has limits, and overextending yourself doesn't help them or you. You can offer support, guidance, or presence, but real healing requires their willingness too. Protecting your own light allows you to show up without being consumed. Sometimes the kindest act is not rescue, but recognition and understanding where your help ends and their journey begins. Number 5. The masked narcissist. Not all narcissists are loud or boastful. Some are quiet, generous, or seemingly selfless, until you step out of the role they've written for you. Jung's idea of the persona, the social mask we wear, applies perfectly here. The masked narcissist has crafted theirs with care. Charming, insightful, maybe even spiritual. They give attention, affirmation, and kindness, but it's calculated. Beneath the mask is a constant craving for admiration disguised as connection. At first, you feel seen, even valued. They understand you. They celebrate your successes, or so it seems. But slowly, the mask slips. Your independence becomes a threat. Your voice, your opinions, your boundaries, they feel like betrayals. Manipulation is subtle. Guilt dressed as concern. Empathy twisted into obligation. Phrases like, "I thought you were different." "I guess I cared more than you did." "You don't appreciate all I do for you." Their love isn't unconditional, it's transactional. They don't want a partner or friend. They want devotion, compliance, and control. The antidote? Observation. Watch the patterns, not the performance. Notice if praise always comes with pressure, if care comes with strings. People who genuinely love you accept your boundaries, allow your silence, and celebrate your autonomy. They don't script your life. A masked narcissist can make you doubt your own perception. They blur the line between connection and obligation, leaving you second-guessing your reality. Jung would warn that failing to see the mask for what it is allows the persona to quietly dictate your emotional landscape. The first step to freedom is awareness. Recognize the mask, reclaim your space, and refuse the role you were never cast to play. After encountering someone who hides behind charm and admiration, you might meet a quieter, colder presence, someone who doesn't attack but watches, measuring your growth against their own unmet expectations. Number 6. The resentful observer. The resentful observer rarely voices their discontent. They smile, they nod, they even offer congratulations, but beneath the surface, resentment simmers. Every step you take forward becomes a mirror reflecting their own stagnation. Jung saw envy as the shadow's confession. It exposes what someone refuses to face in themselves. You'll sense it before you can explain it. A compliment that stings. A tension in the room when you celebrate a win. A subtle comparison woven into casual conversation. Their goal isn't to destroy you, but to contain you. To remind you that no one should shine too brightly. The danger lies in its subtlety. You start censoring your joy, downplaying your achievements, and second-guessing your own confidence, all without a single word spoken against you. Over time, this quiet presence can feel like an invisible leash, conditioning you to shrink. Stay aware and maintain your distance. Protect your light. You don't owe them explanations. Remember, their envy reflects their own struggles, not your value. You can witness without performing. You can celebrate without apology. Sometimes, the kindest act, for both of you, is simply letting them observe your growth without needing their approval. Recognizing the shadow. When you start noticing these patterns, it can feel unsettling. You might see glimpses of these types in your past, and even traces of them in yourself. Jung's warning wasn't just about others, it was about us. The same unconscious forces we fear in others live within our own psyche. We project, we manipulate, we harbor resentment. Each time we act without awareness, the shadow takes the wheel. Recognition changes everything. You stop reacting and start reflecting. You notice who drains you and why you allowed it. That's where freedom begins. Not in cutting people off, but in reclaiming your inner authority. These 6 types aren't villains, they're mirrors. Each reflects a part of human nature left unchecked: projection, control, envy, chaos, shadow. Jung called the life task individuation, integrating shadow and self. That means facing the darkness, not fearing it. But you cannot integrate someone else's shadow, you can only refuse to become its host. Protecting your peace doesn't require suspicion. It requires discernment, knowing when to listen, when to step back, and when to stop explaining yourself to those who don't wish to understand. The moment you stop trying to fix them, you start healing yourself. If someone sounded familiar as you listened, don't rush to anger or dismissal. Simply observe. Awareness itself is power. The minute you see manipulation, it loses its grip. The second you recognize projection, it stops pulling you in. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Now you've seen the pattern. It's no longer fate, it's a choice. Protecting your peace. Recognizing these patterns is only the first step. Awareness matters, but knowing how to safeguard your energy is what truly preserves your sense of self. Before you engage in someone else's crisis or emotional storm, pause and check your own headspace. Ask yourself if you can hold this right now without losing yourself. Compassion works best when your own energy is intact, and it's okay to step back if it isn't. Name the patterns you notice. When blame, manipulation, or envy appears, acknowledging it in your mind creates distance. Seeing it for what it is, rather than reacting, reduces its grip on you. Boundaries are essential. You don't need to announce every limit. Sometimes, the clearest boundary is simply choosing not to engage, declining a request, or stepping away from drama. Your calm and your joy are non-negotiable. Protect your achievements and emotions. Celebrate your wins, express yourself fully, and live authentically. You don't owe anyone silence to shield their insecurities. Then reflect rather than absorb. You can witness someone's struggles without carrying them. Be present, listen, offer support if you can. You are not responsible for fixing what they refuse to face. These steps aren't about avoidance or coldness. They are about showing up with integrity and empathy while keeping yourself whole. And if you want to go deeper into the hidden side of human nature, watch this next video.